Welcome back to Just Scylla. Thank you for your support. We are on episode 17. I am really, really happy to have Tierra Pitch with me here today. Tierra is a mother. She's a makeup artist. She's an influencer. And she is so open on social media. She recently shared the loss of her son. And I wanted her to come in because a lot of what she says is very empowering and can help somebody out there. So Tierra, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So I know this is a really, really difficult time and it has only been a few months. Mm-hmm. Do you mind sharing a little bit about your experience? How old was Tatum when you lost him?
I was 23 weeks pregnant. I went into the doctor's office for a regular checkup and we couldn't find a heartbeat. So we then went to the ultrasound machine in the doctor's office, and they still couldn't find it. And we kind of saw him laying there and kind of, dreaded what we knew was going to be the outcome because he was just laying there not moving. And we had an ultrasound a couple 10 days before, and he was all wiggling and turning. So we knew that yes, it was the end for him.
I know I saw you sharing the process before this happened, and you were so excited.
We were.
So just give our viewers and listeners a little background. So you and John.
Yes, John is my fiance. We've been together 2.5 years now. He's from St. Louis. I'm originally from Chicago. I moved here for love, of course. So this was our first child together. He has 4 kids and I have a daughter, Tristan, that's 4. So we were really excited to finally start our own family together.
And you just got engaged not long ago.
Yes.
So this was a big moment for your life together.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so what made you go to the doctor? Was it a regular visit?
It was a regular checkup. I went once a month. So this was that time, and we had to get the results from the ultrasound that we did 10 days before. So yeah, it was just a regular checkup just to make sure everything was still going by the textbook. And we found out that it was not, and we got those 3 words that most moms hate. There's no heartbeat. So, yes.
What was that moment like? Can you share the process of what happened for anybody who is wanting to know how you go through it?
It was unrealistic. It was surreal. I didn't want to believe it. I was trying to come up with every reason why they couldn't find it. And there was no other reason. It just wasn't what I wanted it to be. The outcome was what every mom fears when they're pregnant, things that you would never expect when you're pregnant to happen. So, yeah.
So you had to go through the whole process. You had to
We had to do labor and delivery, yes. Mm-hmm. So I had to be induced. They gave me Cytotec. Then I had to wait. I had to get epidural because, even though I was 23 weeks, you still have to push and you still have to have the water break and everything. So yeah, I was in labor for about 8 hours before I had him. Mm-hmm. And, you still have that little bit of hope, maybe they're just wrong. Maybe they just don't know what they're doing. But no, it was the hardest time in my life, actually having to push. And at the end, you usually hear it cry. There was no cry. There was nothing. So
I saw the photo of Tatum. Mm-hmm. You shared his feet.
I did.
On social media, and that was so powerful. Mm-hmm. Did you get to hold him?
I did hold him. I spent the whole day with him. I took pictures with him. I just, loved on him because that was my baby. I held him for 6 months, so it was really hard to let him go. And even though he wasn't with us, he was still there. Like, I just wanted to hold him and be like, have him feel a sense of love from wherever he is, and just, you know, still go through the motions. They highly encourage it, the doctors, my family. I know that if I didn't, I would have regrets to know what he looked like to see his size, to see who he resembled and everything. I wouldn't have never been able to know those features of him.
So John was there with you, and as a couple, you're going through this, knowing you're going home without him. How did you manage to get through it?
It was hard the first couple of days. I didn't want to leave. Like, I wouldn't leave. I stayed in the house, stayed in bed. My mom was there. She ended up taking my daughter for like a week or so. And then we, it was kind of a blur for me, to be honest, the first couple of days. I just remember just not getting out of bed, not eating, just like your body goes through the motions, so you're bleeding, your milk comes in, you know, it's everything. You have this extra skin that you don't want because there's no baby there, and you don't feel the movements that you were just feeling. You just feel empty inside, and ashamed, and just like, you know, you just really have to have a good support system. Just, you know, luckily I had my daughter to keep me going. Like, I didn't have Tatum, but I still have a daughter at home that I'm thankful for, and she keeps me going.
She's a delight.
Yes,
she's a delight. Is. And you took, you know, something really amazing. You donated your milk.
Yes, my milk came in, and I decided to not let it go to waste, but to donate it to the milk bank. There's one in St. Louis. They're all over. So my child can have the milk. I didn't want it to go to waste. I wanted it to go to preemies that needed the milk. So I did about 100 ounces of breast milk and pumped it for them. So
I've been looking at your Instagram. You've been traveling. You said you're doing yoga. And so self-care is an important aspect for you right now.
Yeah, so eventually when I did decide to get up and out, I went to yoga. I decided to do yoga because you don't really have to talk to anyone. It's good for your mind, body, and spirit, and that's what I needed. You're in your own zone, so you can just kind of, you know, release all that negative energy and just kind of stretch and center yourself. And that's exactly what I needed at that time.
How is it for your relationship? Because I know it's incredibly hard. And when you guys look at each other, you feel the loss together. And many times that can put so much strain on your relationship.
There's a lot of people that divorce or end relationships. It made us stronger. We went through it together. We were both excited for our son, and we lost him together. So instead of like distancing ourselves, we found a way to make it stronger. We took a trip this summer, like a healing trip for the whole family, where we started in California, drove through California, and ended up in like Yosemite. We went to Lake Tahoe, Aspen, and that was our healing trip.
It's really important for you, from what I've seen you talk about, to keep his memory alive.
Yes. That's one thing moms who have gone through stillborn situations and also miscarriages, the only thing they want from it is to have their child remembered and loved. That's the only feeling. So you have to keep your child alive. Even though they're not here, they're still here in your hearts. You still carry them. They keep their memory alive. So talk about them.
From the other side of it, if it's somebody who is wanting to support a mom who is grieving, what are some of the things that were important to you that someone should remember to do for somebody else?
To say their name, know the baby's name, talk about them, act as if, don't say, I'm sorry for your loss. Just comfort them and ask about their baby. Ask how did they look? How much should they weigh? Find out all the details that they would need to help them heal. because it happened. Even though like they're not here, it still happened. It's still a loss for us. So yeah, just talk about the baby and say their name. That's all moms want to hear is their baby's name.
I know that, there are times when somebody might say, well, you have another child. Mm-hmm. How can you explain it from a mom's perspective? That it's a separate experience.
It is. Because you still carry them. It's still, that was one of the things that bugged me. It's like, oh, you can have another kid. Oh, yeah, but I wanted that one. We worked to have that one. That's what we wanted. Sometimes it's just better not to say anything at all than to say those comments and you're unsure of. Just, yeah, we wanted that one. So
you're a makeup artist, you're an influencer, you are usually up and about. Mm-hmm. How long did it take you to get out of bed? Because it's a process that's different for everyone, and there's somebody in bed right now who's having a hard time getting up. What would you say to that person?
Find what you like. Find what will help you heal. Honestly, be around people that know how much you wanted your baby. Like I had 2 best friends that would call and talk to me every day. So when we lost him, they didn't stop talking about him. They would still talk about him like, oh, well, Tatum would be doing this and Tatum would be doing that. It's like they made me feel like he was still there with us, even though he wasn't. Also, like my business, I worked hard to get it, so I couldn't just let it end. I gave myself a deadline, not do anything, but also take time away and take time to heal. Like, when you go through that, you need that time for yourself. You can't be rushed back because it's a major loss, and it could really, I've seen it really ruin people, and like we'll never be the same, but we know how to move forward and move on.
That is really powerful. Mm-hmm. I am so proud of you because it takes a lot to keep going. It takes a lot to pull deep, and you're pulling deep without losing your essence and who you are. You're not letting it define the rest of your life. It is now part of your everyday life, but you're finding a way to move forward, which is such a great memory for Tatum. This is such a good thing for you to do. And I'm just you're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I hope that this helps you know what to do when somebody is grieving. I hope that you're inspired to keep going if you're having a hard time. This is just Scylla. We'll see you next time.